Hello everybody, it's Christine. It is time for Mix It Up Monday. And because I'm participating in 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, you should have also seen another video for that today. So this is actually gonna be my second video today, mostly because I don't plan too well and I should probably combine things and I don't. And so I got too far ahead on the other pop, and so no worries, I'm gonna make two layouts for today. So here is our sketch, or I guess it's sketch for today. It's by Brenda Ragsdale. And you can kind of see there's two photos, and I'm going to call this 1, 2, 3, kind of 4 pattern papers. There's a little tag, title, journaling. And I've got to think about the mixed media, and I'm thinking I might turn these triangles into the mixed media, because I've got this like little photo plates, a little like dots stencil, and I've got this kind of it says gold gilding polish, but it's kind of a silvery gold. It's real pretty. So I'm thinking about using that. This is going to be my font, because what I have is a Scrap Room January 2023 Flavors of the Month. And I don't think there's anything in here that's going to work as a title because it's too little. But there's little words in here that probably could be my journaling up there. And then there's these like wintertime papers. Why does that feel wet, y'all? I don't think it'd be wet. Uh-oh. I got a little water on the backside of that. Probably my drink. I've got white cardstock. There's this wood grain, which I think is just beautiful. I'm trying to decide on this because I like the snowflakes. I don't know what to do, y'all. Because then I've got this right here, which is a good little pattern. Then there's some cut aparts back here, but I don't think I'm going to use these. And then there's this beautiful little floral with the snowflakes and a little plaid back here. So I haven't yet determined. I don't know if I want to use the white cardstock as my background this time. I'm kind of thinking about this because then this little guy here might show up good on it. Oh, my pictures, by the way, are me, y'all. I got a new coat. I was in Nashville. I hadn't brought a coat. It turned out it was going to be cold, so I needed a coat. So they went shopping and got a coat. But I'm kind of thinking this, and then this, and then maybe this floral. Oh, that is so pretty. And then I can maybe use, as the triangle pieces, the mixed media. That's what I'm kind of thinking here, y'all. So let me do a little bit of trimming off the branding strip and stuff like that. Get these little pieces here cut, my photos trimmed. I might use the white, for my photos. Or what I may actually do is use the white, for the photos, and I might mat it. Ooh, that could be kind of pretty. I don't do that often. So that might be what we do. So I think that's what I'm going to start with. Give me just a second. I'm going to cut a few little things up, and I'll be right back on. Okay, gang, I have cut the wood grain down by 1/2 inch, 2 sides. And because I am going to just put it on top of this white cardstock. I don't get the white cardstock because it's white cardstock. So I put the wood grain down on here. That is what I decided to go. And then I did decide to use the green little cross pattern there as the square. And I just cut that. There's not any dimensions on the sketch, but I chose to do 8.5 by 8.5. And then I've got that floral with the snowflake on there. I think I made that like 9 by 5.5 or something like that. I just kind of eyeballed it from the sketch and then relative to my photos. I am trying to make sure this is straight. And then I'm going to put this down. And that's the 2 main pieces of paper. Now, what I've decided, instead of like the sketch showed those triangle pieces, and I kind of commented about this, I'm going to use my my mixed media as my triangle pieces. Now, I tried to get all clever, y'all. I cut a corner out of that white cardstock, and I thought, okay, I'm going to lay my little stencil down in here, and then I'm going to mash this stuff around on here. And that doesn't work too badly on the first little bit here. It helps, I stay within my little triangle, although I kind of messed up just a little bit. I probably should have done this before I glued it down on the white cardstock, but I was kind of impatient because I need to get this done anyways. And so I just have to be careful not to get it on the white. Although I guess if it gets on the white, it's not that big a deal because I think I get it on there somewhere else. But I do this, and this doesn't go too badly. But then I go to the side, and I realize that my cardstock I'm using as my little guard is too big. And if I lay it down, I'm going to get it right on top of the part that I just painted. See that? See how it's going to go right on top? And I go, oh, well, I don't want to do that. And then I realized there's some stuff that's mushed up underneath my little guard, and I had laid it down there, and now it's on my paper. So, y'all, my side spots over here go a little ugly. They don't look perfect, let me put it that way. They don't turn into real pretty polka dots, at least on the bottom, because I end up smearing my paste. but you know what? I tell myself this is mixed media, and mixed media is not usually perfect. So I paint all this on here, and I try to keep it on my triangle, and I try to keep it neat and orderly. And y'all will see in just a second, I have said this 1,000 times, y'all, I'm the clumsiest scrapbooker. I go to pick up my stencil, and I drop it right back down on my polka dots. And it smears it. So it's okay. It's in the end, it's fine. It's just shiny little polka dots, and nobody knew it was supposed to be an actual specific triangle. See that? See what I did there? I smeared it. But that's okay. I'm going to do my bottom half, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I did have to kind of wipe some of it off, though, because I dang sure got that stuff all over the back side of my stencil. So I do that, and then I'm going to do this bottom little piece here. And again, this is just taking the place of those dark triangles, or at least that was my vision of this. Now, y'all can tell me if y'all think it turned out. But again, it's mixed media, so you know what? It's not perfect. We are homemaking crafts, right? It's homemaking crafts here, so... Anyways, I smear my little gold polka dots. Now, I do like this. Now, I will tell you, I use this. It's kind of a shimmery white gold or whatever. And my font letters actually have a bit of a silver hologram on them. So, it's okay. I'm mixing my metals just a little bit, right? So, my tag there, I went ahead and used my tag punch. 9 times out of 10 when I'm making a tag, I'll use my We Are Memory Keepers tool. But in this case, it was small enough, and that little punch works perfectly with a 2-inch wide piece of paper. So, I went ahead and used my punch for that one. And then I'm going to use the same little plaid pad. That plaid, by the way, is the back side of that snowflake floral paper. And then I'm going to use that same little plaid as my little side piece over there that's in the sketch. It's on the right-hand side of my photo. I didn't scuff the edges of these pictures. Or excuse me, the papers. I don't know if I should have or not. I'm looking at it. It's a little unfinished looking, but by the same token, I got all the little mixed media. So maybe it's okay. All right, so now I'm going to go through, and I'm pulling out my little font here, and I'm going to call it New Coat. Now, there's no E's, so I take my F, and then I take a little period, or a little square that acts as a dot in the font, and that makes a perfectly fine E. You can't hardly tell. And it's got, like I said, it's kind of got that little silver hologram on there. In my mind, it kind of seems like it's like ice or, you know, like cold stuff, so that's kind of why I picked it. And I think it's okay that it's kind of silver, even though my little dots are... Because there's a little silver tint to it. It's kind of gold with silver, too. So, it's kind of a neat little deal. Then there was a little title in my ephemera that said Feeling Frosty. And I kind of like that because, you know, I'm taking this selfie here, being all frosty. And then I do have this Let's Just Chill. I like that. And it's because I'm trying to use that as that arrow that was on the sketch. But it can't really go by itself because the wood on top of the wood was just kind of getting lost. So I was kind of messing with it. And I finally decided, you know what, I'm just going to put it on this little plaid, and then I'll have my little plaid in 3 pieces. So I'm going to end up cutting, instead of an arrow, I make a little fishtail banner. And I'm going to cut this out and glue it on there. And then I'll actually end up popping that up on foam as well. I didn't put any of my pictures on foam. I thought about it, but I knew I was going to lay something on top of that left-hand photo there. So I thought, well, I'm just going to leave those flat. So I did put foam underneath this Let's Just Chill. I didn't decide to use any of my other little tags up there. They had all kinds of little words and stuff on them, and it didn't really go with this sketch too much. I think I cut it out, though. There was a little heart that you can kind of see it right above the frame there. There's a little heart. It looks kind of cross-stitchy. I thought about trying to use that up there next to Feeling Frosty, but I moved it all around it, and I just couldn't get it to work. I don't think I'd leave that in here. I might. If I do, you'll see me mess around with it and move it all around, but I don't end up using that little heart. I think I'm just making that fishtail banner right now. And again, I didn't even ink the edges of anything. Other than the paste here, I didn't really use any mixed media. I could have inked the edges of the papers, but I'm not going to lie, y'all. My husband just went out of town, and I'm up late scrapbooking, and that's a really different circumstance for me. I'm usually up real early scrapbooking, and so I feel like I'm kind of running out of gas, y'all. But I got to practice because I got Scrapbook Expo coming up, and there's a make and take on Thursday night. And you stay up kind of late, like 11 or something, and I run out of gas, y'all. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's just kind of hard for me to stay up late. I feel like I'm getting older, you know. Your juice just runs out at some point after about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. All right, so anyway, I've got my foam going up underneath my little deal here. Let's Just Chill. I'm kind of Frankenstein a little bit on the back side there because I didn't have one the right side there. So I'm just kind of Frankenstein a little bit. I'll use my ATG, and I will glue that down. Then what do I do next? I think I decide that Feeling Frosty looks a little naked to me. I don't know if I do this next, but I will end up pulling out the brackets off the font too. I've got my letters down there, so I know I liking that. I'm just kind of examining, y'all. I'm going to check out the sketch one more time here. This might be, I'm kind of looking to see, okay, is there anything I can use else in my ephemeras? This might be where I piddle around with that heart in just a second. I realize that Feeling Frosty has the little paper boogers, that happen when you pull it out of a, well, it's like when you pull out a sheet. I don't know if that's how these come, honestly, because since it's a scrap room, I just get a little baggie with the samples in it. But I feel like maybe the manufacturer does that. There's little paper boogers. Oh, here's where I mess with that little heart. I move that around a couple, different locations and all that. I even go at the trouble of filing its little paper boogers off because I'm thinking, well, I'm going to use you. I don't end up using him. He goes back in the pile. But I know I can't just leave Feeling Frosty by itself because it just doesn't look right by itself hanging out up there. So I'm going to glue it down, but then I am going to get into my little chipboard font again, and that's when I said, I go, oh, look at that. There's these little brackets in here. Hang on, I'm digging around over in there. What do I decide to do? Yep, here's where I find it. I decide, you know what, those little brackets look good. So I'm going to just put those little brackets on either side of that Feeling Frosty. And I feel like that kind of ties in my little title, the new coat. And now I'm in a little bit of a diagonal, so I kind of like that. I'm going to use my Nuvo glue just to put it down. And then, what do I do next, y'all? I might take them little enamel dots and just kind of put them around. That technically really wasn't in the sketch, but I've got them. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to use them, by golly. So I put 3 in each of my little clusters. I don't know. I don't think I do anything else after this, but let me make sure. I don't want to lie to you. Oh, I do take a gray pen, but I don't think I do it on camera. I'll take a little gray pen, and on the little tag, I do write November 2022 on there. I mean, obviously, I've got new coat, so I don't need to. Oh, I go get string. That's what it is. I decided my tag, I didn't want it naked. I think in the sketch, it kind of shows it naked, so it could have been okay. But I didn't really want it to do that, so I went ahead and got me some string, and I'm gonna start to tie a knot, and then I thought, no, I'm gonna do the little. I'm certain there's a word for it when you tuck it through and you loop it around or whatever. There's probably a special word for that knot or whatever that's made, but I don't know what it is. So it takes me just a second. I'm gonna create that little loop and I'm gonna trim it. I will end up gluing that in place as well because I don't want it to go all over the place. So little Nuvo glue goes right there. By the way, that's a little trick, y'all. If you don't want your strings moving around, just glue them down. And that is all I'm going to do to this layout, y'all. I apologize. I'm like I said, I'm a little bit tired tonight, so if I don't sound so peppy, that's my juice running out here. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out the link below. There's going to be some other folks playing along with the Mix It Up Monday. Typically, there's a Facebook group, the Peace Craft Love Clubhouse. You can always go there and join the event as well. So don't forget to watch my 30 days links, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.